Good morning, children. Today we move to our next chapter, that is chapter 13, data handling. Okay. Okay. You know what is data? Data means collecting information. Okay. If we collect some data, for example, suppose in a class we want to find out the marks of a student for all the subject. Okay, and if you represent these marks pictorially, then we can easily identify which subject score more marks and which subject score less mark. But if you write it in a table, then we cannot identify easily. Okay, so if we picturize it, then we can easily identify all the data related to it. Okay, for example, suppose in a class subjects is given and the marks of each subject is also given. A student score 40 marks out of 50 for maths, and for English suppose 45 marks score. Then for Malayalam 35, then science 50 marks are there. Then from this table the marks is given and the subject is also given. So if you picturize this data like this, we have two axes. This one is called our horizontal axis. Horizontal axis, and this is called a vertical axis. Vertical axis. And here we have two set of information, that is the first one is subject and the second column the marks is given. Okay, so in this picture I mark all the subject marks here. Okay, and it is clear that the highest mark is 50 and the lowest one is 35. So you choose a suitable scale to mark all these numbers. Okay, and here every time we mark the numbers on the horizontal axis and the names along the horizontal axis and the marks along this vertical axis. So horizontal axis is also called the x-axis and this vertical axis is also called the y-axis, that we discussed in the higher class. What is x-axis and what is y-axis? You just understand this is our horizontal axis and this is our vertical axis. And from this intersection, use a scale to mark the points on these axis, that is horizontal and vertical. That is, in your scale you know that one unit mark in your scale. Use that scale to mark these points like this. Okay. And here on the vertical axis also you mark using your scale 1 centimeter and bolted the points like this. That means all the points have equal distance. Okay, and the highest one is 50 and the lowest is 35. So you choose a suitable scale. If you mark 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30 up to here. But if you mark 10, 20, if you extend this line, you can use 5, 10, 15, 20, that scale. Otherwise, you can use 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. We need up to 40, 50 only. So here I use the scale 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. 60 we need up to 50, but just I mark here up to 60. And the first one is the subject is Max and his score is 40. So leave 1 centimeter here and using your scale you draw a line like this up to 40, that is height 40. Draw a rectangle of 1 centimeter with height 40 centimeter. Is it clear? 40 centimeter height. You draw a rectangle using your scale and pencil only, like this. This is a rectangle with height 40 centimeter. Here this 40 represent the marks, and on the vertical axis you write marks, because this vertical line represent the marks of that student. Okay. So here this rectangle represent the marks of which subject? Max. So here you write Max. Okay. And again you leave 1 centimeter and here you take 1 centimeter. And which is the next subject? English. And what is the score? 45. So 45 means clearly we know that it lies between 40 and 50 and it should be at the center of 40 and 50. In your scale we have 1 centimeter, 2 centimeter line. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That is that centimeter divided into 10 small unit, that is millimeter. So here in your scale you see these small lines, each represents 1 millimeter. Here we mark it as 40 and 50. So this one is 40 and this line is our 50. So between 40 and 50, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. Okay, so correct center is 45. So where that 45 lies? Here. So you draw another rectangle of height 40 centimeter like this. Okay. No need to draw this line. You just use your scale to mark correct 45. Then, which is the next subject? Malayalam, and its mark is 35. So, leave again 1 unit, 1 centimeter. Then draw another rectangle whose height is 35. Clearly we know that the 35 lies between 30 and 40. So, draw the next rectangle like this. Okay. The first one represents Max. The second one is English. And third one is Malayalam. And which is the last one? Science. And its score is 50. So again leave 1 centimeter. Then 50 means this one. Okay, 50. Okay, science. we can easily identify which subject score full mark or highest mark and which one score lowest mark. From this, it is clear that the highest one is, suppose the first question is which subject score highest mark and which one score less mark. That's the question. So, if a question asks like this, which subject score highest mark, that's the first question, and which subject score lower mark or less mark. What's the answer of these two questions? Which subject score highest mark and which subject score lower mark? So what is the answer of the first one? Which subject score highest mark? Highest mark means the highest number is corresponding to which subject? Science. So what is the answer of this one? Science. And which subject score lower mark? Lower mark is the smallest rectangle is corresponding to which subject? Malayalam. So the answer is Malayalam. So in this way we can easily write the answers or identify the answers or find out the answers from the figure. Okay. In this way we write or draw the bar graph. Okay, if you have graph paper, you can draw it in your graph book. Otherwise, you can draw it in your notebook itself. But you take the same unit throughout. That means leave the same distance between the rectangles and the width of the rectangle is also same throughout. These are the two main things you remember at the time of drawing a bar graph. Similarly, on the horizontal axis, we write the names, and on the vertical axis, we write the numbers or whatever maybe the number or maybe the number of students or marks, whatever may be, or weight or height, whatever may be, we mark it on the vertical axis, and on the horizontal axis we write the names. Okay. Hope you understood this bar graph, and in this way we draw the bar graph. All of you draw this in your notebook. Okay. Okay. Next, a question from your text. That is, a bar graph is given like this, and on the horizontal axis some rectangles are marked, and first one bus, car, bicycle, walking, and on the y-axis some numbers are also marked. And in the question given that the students of class 5 decided to record the mode of transport they used to come to school, they make the bar graph as follows. Here we have some questions. Okay, the first one is dash different modes of transport for coming to school. Here how many types of transport marked in this figure? Bus, by car, by bicycle, and by walking. There are 4 methods of different transport. So the answer is 4. Okay. And the next one is the number of students marked on dash axis. Can you say the number of students marked on which axis? This axis or this one? Clearly we know that here the number of students is marked, and this axis is called a vertical axis. Vertical axis. And what is the title of the graph? Title of the graph is title of the graph is dash. Can you say what is the title of the graph? Bar graph. Here bars or rectangles we use to represent it. So the title of the graph is bar graph. Okay. Then the total number of students in class 5. Total number of students in class 5 is dash. Here, look at here. By bus, how many students have come to school? Lies in the correct center of 6 and 8. That means 7 students are there. Then by car, how many students are come to school? 2 students. Then by bicycle, 4 students are there. Then by walking, 10 students. So if you add all these, you get the total number of students. 7 plus 2, 9 plus 4, 13, adding 1, we get 23. So total number of students in class 5 is 23. Okay. Then the last question is the environment friendly mode of coming to school is dash. Can you say which one is environment friendly mode? Clearly it is by bicycle or walking. Because if you use car or bus, we use fuels. Okay. So by bicycle or walking, it is environmental friendly. Okay. That is the next question. The environmental friendly mode of coming to school. Mode of coming to school is walking or bicycle. Both are correct. No petrol is used or no diesel is used. That's why these two are environmental friendly. Okay. So hope you understood. We can easily find out the answers if you listen this bar graph carefully. We can easily identify the answers. Hope you understood this. After watching it, all of you write these notes in your notebook also. Okay, thank you.